Hello and welcome into the Knicks-Verse. My name is George, and if this is your first time here, or you've been here before but have not subscribed yet, please do so, and hit the thumbs up button for me. Really appreciate that, along with sharing the video and dropping your comments. Want to hear your thoughts and feelings about anything Knicks, anything I might have said. You guys are my collaborators here. Well, the New York Knicks went up north to Toronto to face the Raptors on a back-to-back. And they pulled out the win. They have now won 7 of their last 8 games. They are firmly in 3rd place. The Celtics beat the Cleveland Cavaliers tonight. So things are looking good for the Knicks. Now, it got a little hairy. We once had a 23-point lead that the Toronto Raptors whittled down to just 1 single point late in that 4th quarter. And man, was I sweating. I was sweating buckets. But once again, Jalen Brunson, Captain Clutch, comes through with the dagger to solidify the win for the Knicks tonight. But the real star of this game was actually Ariel Hakporti, in my opinion, which is really something to say when you consider that Karl-Anthony Towns had 27 points and 20 rebounds himself. All right, let's get to it. We got highlights. Let's get to it right now. You can see the New York Knicks won 121 to 115. Jalen Brunson came through here big time. 28 points, 5 assists, 2 steals, 1 block, 1 turnover, and he picked up some big. He forced the Raptors to turn the ball over. He picked up some charges, key ones. I think 1 or maybe 2 of them were on Scotty Barnes. Love the way he does that. You know, he's not a great defender, so what can he do? He tries to find the position on the floor that the offensive player is trying to get to and forces the turnover. Love that about him. And tonight, he was able to, once again, late in that 4th quarter, steady the ship because, man, or the leak, plug the hole because we were leaking. We were totally leaking at that point. And that could be the legs, you know, it could be a bit of a dead legs. OG Anunoby did not play tonight, which is fine. I think he should rest as long as he needs to. Hopefully, look, if he's great and feels great, I want to see him against Boston. I want to see him against Boston on Saturday. But short of him feeling 100% or 95%, just sit, just rest. After the All-Star break, come back. Now, this guy, Karl-Anthony Towns, 27 points, 20 rebounds. He was insane in that 2nd quarter. My God, he had 20. First of all, just so you guys know, he had 20. I'll show you right now. In that first half, Karl-Anthony Towns had 20 points in the first half and 15 rebounds. He had a double-double by halftime. Beautiful. Outstanding. Brunson came through with 14 points, and Precious Achiuwa, offensively, had a good game offensively. 10 points for him in that first half. But when I show you the second half, head scratcher, because people are praising him up and down in social media right now as if he is Kawhi Leonard defensively. Look what he did in the second half. A minus 16. He played over 21 minutes, a minus 16. He was double the next worst Knick in minus in the second half, which was Jalen Brunson. A minus 7. And I bring that up because in the second half, I want to understand one thing. So you get Karl-Anthony Towns, who's already has a double-double in the first half. All right? He put up 15 shot attempts in that first half. He only got 4 for the rest of the game. That is poor game management. And you got to put that on Thibs and Brunson. Now, I know Jalen, is 40 points and all that stuff. He's amazing. He wins games for us. But it doesn't need to get that tight if you stay the course. Why not feed the man who's on fire, who's trying to redeem himself from last night because he didn't have such a great game last night. Thankfully, Brunson had an amazing game. But in my opinion, I think he got iced. He got iced. Only 4 shot attempts. But he hit, 2 of 4 from the field, hit his 2 free throws, 5 rebounds for him in that second half, and he played 19 minutes. So those are the things that got a little wonky. And the Knicks, you can see, we lost that second half by 11 points after going up 17 in the first half. 68 points in the first half. All right, let's get back to, here we go, the breakdowns. So it was a little bit of an odd game. Partly it could be, second game of a back-to-back on the road. All right, cut them a little slack. They pull out the win because, let me tell you, any win is a great win now. Any win is a great win no matter what, okay? Unless, barring some craziness. Any win is a great win, especially now. And when you look at the standings, it really shows you why. Because right now, there we go. The Knicks are right here, beautifully positioned in third place. 2 games behind the Celtics, 6.5 games behind the Cleveland Cavaliers, who lost tonight to the Celtics. Loving that. Loving that. All right, look at this. Oh, I showed you that. Here we go. Let's get to this here. So, this is an interesting point here. And I think, it says it all right there. Thibs is shrewdly prepping Cat and company for playing alongside Mitch by having Towns share the court with Hukporti tonight. And that's why, and Hukporti came through beautifully. Last night, he was a little rough. He did give you some great energy. He ate up some minutes. We ended up pulling that game out. But he was rough. He was like a -14, plus minus whatever in his minutes of play. Now, he's still a rookie, but tonight was a whole different story. Those two on the court, sharing the court together, the Knicks were able to dominate for long stretches of time when he was out there. And Thibs closed the game with Ariel Hukporti on the court. That's how much confidence he's gained in this man right now. And he deserves it. He deserves it. But that role will eventually be eclipsed by Mitch. Mitch will step into that role. He's going to come off the bench. He's going to give you that energy off the bench, that shot blocking, that rim protection, the alley-oop game, the great defense that he plays. He's going to provide all of that. And what's beautiful is if there's any foul trouble issues, now Hukporti can just step right into that role, and there's not that much of a drop off in terms of physicality. So he's setting everybody up. I think the future is Mitch is not getting traded because it would be idiotic to trade him now, personally, unless some team made an idiotic offer. You never know nowadays. You never know. Because right now, Mitch is coming off 2 injuries. You're not going to get the value for him. He is an impact player defensively, and it can be offensively as well. Now, does it shift the dynamic of the floor spacing? Absolutely it does, which is why this was so important to see tonight. Because Hukporti and Mitch play very similar styles, and they were able to thrive when they had 2 bigs on the court together, and that's going to help us, especially when we go against the Clevelands of the world. And speaking of Hukporti, the New York basketball here, last pick in the draft, Ariel Hukporti off the bench as Knicks top Toronto. 3 of 3 from the field, 5 rebounds, 2 assists, a +8, and he did not get credited for a block, but I could swear he got a couple of blocks. But what he did do was force air balls. And when you see the highlights, you'll see what I'm talking about. And let's get to those highlights right now. So the game got off to an interesting start. The Knicks never led in this first quarter, but they got a couple of ties. It was mostly, the Raptors. I think they built up like a 6-point lead, maybe 7-point lead at one point in that first quarter, and it was a lot of it. By the way, Emmanuel Quickley did start tonight. RJ did not because RJ was in concussion protocols. He had a terrible fall, smacked his head on the back of the hardwood, and he did end up continuing to play in that game. But I think the next day he woke up, he had some headaches and maybe some nausea or something. So, all the best to RJ. I hope you recover quickly. Pun intended that time. All right, so the first quarter, the New York Knicks, we lit them up for 30 points, but our defense allowed 34 for the Raptors. And the Raptors did it with nice balanced scoring. Their rookie, Jacoby Walter, had 6 points. Scotty Barnes had 6 points. Grady Dick with 6 points. And Jakob Poeltl had 5 points, and so did Bruce Brown, 5 points. And, they had 9 guys score in that first quarter. Poeltl ended up getting a hip pointer, so he left, I can't remember when he was, partly through the second quarter, which definitely helped us tonight. So you can see Hukporti's out there. Oh, he coughed up the ball right there. Who is that? Was that Payne? Payne had a rough game, even though his plus-minus doesn't show it, but he had a rough game because he was out there during this stretch when it was Payne, Hukporti, Towns, Deuce, and Mikal Bridges. It was a nice little lineup. And here you can see the Knicks. Well, here, now we cut down the deficit. It was like 6 points. Now it's only down 2, but we give up this bucket here. And then as we move into the second quarter was when the Knicks took control of this game. We lit them up for a plus 21 in that second quarter. The Knicks outscored them 38-17. Scotty Barnes just lost his whole mojo. He was only 2 of 9 from the field in that second quarter. They were 0 for 7 from the three-point line. The Raptors were. They were 7 of 21 from the field. So the Knicks defense stepped up in a moment where we needed it. Here's Towns. And speaking of stepping up, look at that shot. I can't even believe he got that off. Towns scored 11 points in that second quarter. But as I showed you before, in the first half, he had 20 points and 15 rebounds. He was the story for the Knicks in that first half. We lit them up for 68 points. We had a plus set. We were ahead by 17 points in the first half. So to think that we ended up only winning, but the lead went down to just 1 point late in that game, it definitely. I was sweating pellets for sure. Sweating pellets. Here we go. Here comes Brunson coming in. Oh, the nice little dish to Hakporty. And later on, I think there's a nice little pass to Hakporty. No, this is not the one. But I will say that's another incredible play. There was a moment where Hakporty did like a gorgeous touch pass. Cat was driving on the right side. He shot, he got his offensive rebound, and then he saw Hakporty cut. He hit him with the pass, and Hakporty just immediately dished it to Mikal Bridges, who was cutting from the right baseline for the 2-point bucket. Now that's something I never saw Sims do. I've seen Mitch do stuff like that, but I never saw Sims do. So I think this is basically the end of the Jericho Sims era as a Knick. I do think if Leon can get maybe a second rounder, he probably will be gone by Thursday night. And, I'm bummed about it because, I liked him a lot and everything, but he just has not evolved as a player as much as he should have over the 4 years. I mean, already Hakporty is outplaying him at this point, which is something to say. Now, here's where the game started turning. As you can see, the lead has been whittled down to just 13. Brunson gets in there. Now it's up to 15. It like teetered around there. And Brunson, here, air ball. They come over here. Oh, yeah, they get this easy bucket here. Oof, that guy Schneed. Schneed was a difference maker. That was Mobo. Here's Scotty Barnes going to the hoop. Sims. No, not Sims. What was I talking about? Schneed. Schneed. He was an impact player for this team, for this Raptors team. He finished with 16 points in his 23 minutes of play, 7 of 12 overall, 9 assists, and he played some really good defense on Brunson. Look at it. Look at that air ball. But look at this. Look at Precious. He passes the ball to Abaji. And look, little bucket right there. Come on, Precious. Come on. I mean, I guess everyone makes mistakes and stuff like that, but when you look at the plus minus, it tells a whole other story. It tells a whole other story. And now the game is starting to get really tight. There's Schneed, finds Grady Dick in the corner for a 3. Dick hits another big 3, so now that cuts the lead to just 8. Douche basically just throws it up. And here we go. This turns into a easy fast break. And now it's only a 6-point lead. That's Schneed again. And here we go. I believe this is another 3-pointer from, Grady Dick, shooting over Josh Hart. Josh Hart did not score a single point in the first half, but he did finish with 15 points for the game. So that means he had a really productive second half for us. 15 points for him. He was 7 of 17. He hit only 1 3-pointer. It was a big 3-pointer that he hit. Here we go. What's this play right here? I think he's trying to battle. Nice. Nice. Coming down. Now it's a sweat. 114-111. Only a 3-point game. Josh cuts through. Fortunately, that wasn't an offensive foul. We're up 5 with a minute 20 something left. Too easy a bucket right there. Now we're up 3. Brunson drives, hits the long 2. Gives us a little bit of breathing room again. 5-point lead, but they connected on a 3-point play down there. And this is the dagger from the A of the arena. Boom. And that was pretty much the game. There's some nice defense. The next play, look at Hawk-Porty. See, forcing another air ball. He did that to Scotty Barnes earlier. I feel like he was forcing air balls left and right, and then he comes in and gets the rebound. I love his activity, his athleticism. He just has a nice instinct for the game. And as that gets refined, and as Thibs and the other coaches start really shaping him into, like, basically kind of what they did with Hartenstein. I kind of see like this could happen with Hawk-Porty, though Hawk-Porty doesn't shoot the 3 that I've seen, but he looks like he could be a decent passer. So the Knicks may have found something there, especially considering he was the last pick in the draft. All right, let's get to these stats here. I want to show you. So you can see here's the arc of the lead tracker. Look at that big, giant lead, 23 points, about 40% of the way into the third quarter. See that all disappear right there. Ugh, that was nasty. Here are the team comparisons. The second chance points, the Knicks just dominated that, 24-5. They points in the paint, they didn't dominate it, but they definitely won that battle, 62-56. So they were +6 there. We lost the fast break battle here. You can see, this is what Darko did was turn to his bench, who had a lot more energy, a lot more life in their legs, and they made life difficult for the Knicks. And that's where that whole lead just disappeared, mostly facing their bench, mixed in, well, with Grady Dick as well. The Knicks shot 82.6% from the free throw line, but the Raptors shot 94.7%. From there, the 3-point shooting, 32%. Only for the Knicks, but 37.9% for the Raptors. 50% overall for the Knicks field goal shooting, 52.4% for the Raptors. The Knicks did hold on to the ball. They protected it, only coughed it up 11 times compared to 14 for the Raptors. And we won the rebounding battle tonight, 43-34. All right, let's get back to this here. You can see. What did I want to show you here? So here, you can see, I mentioned Precious before. So he played 36 minutes. People are like, praising him like he's a defensive demon, right? 17 points, great offensive game for him. 8 rebounds. I think a guy like him should have more than 8 rebounds, personally. And then you got Bridges, 17 points for him in his 41 minutes of play. 27 points for Towns, as I mentioned, 28 for Brunson, 15 for Josh Hart, and Hawk-Porty with 6, Payne with 7, and Deuce with 4. Deuce is definitely going to benefit from the All-Star break. He does not look like the Deuce that we got used to. Definitely not the Deuce that we saw in the first 2 months of the season. So I'm hoping that the rest will help him. I think he must be nursing some kind of injury. I think it's a knee. I believe it's a knee or something. So let's hope that the break really does help him. The Knicks only attempted 25 3-pointers tonight and connected on 8 of them. Here's the plus minus. As I showed you before, every Knick was a plus player except for Precious, a -14. I mean, and it was all of that was in the second half. In the second half, he was pretty much a disaster. I can kind of show you right now. This is not picking on Precious. This is challenging Precious. Because just running around, grabbing ball, that's not the game. The game is figuring out situationally how to approach that moment. I feel like he has a lot of growth that needs to happen in that part of the game. You can see a -14 right here, -14. Where we look at Mikal Bridges, who played an additional 5 minutes than he did, he was a +14. That is a 28-point swing right there between those two players. Wow. All right, let's get back to this, where you can see Hawk-Porty was a +8. To Raptors, man, that guy Sheed, he impressed me tonight. 16 points. He basically kept Quickly's butt on the bench because Quickly did not have an impact on this game. Poito, like I said, he had to leave. He only ended up playing 15 minutes. Scotty Barnes needed 23 field goal attempts to give you 23 points. Not efficient, but look at that bench unit right there. Every single bench player scored. 11 points for Olynyk, 4 for Mobo, 9 for Bruce Brown, who's probably going to get traded to the Denver Nuggets, is what I'm hearing. Back to them to help them kind of recapture their championship glory. Obagi, 7 points for him in his 23 minutes of play. He played some good defense, but Sheed, man, I'm really impressed. 16 points for him. And Robinson, I'm not familiar with that player, 4 points for him. Let's see what else. Here are the other team stats. The thing to note here is the points conceded off turnovers. Even 14-14. The Knicks have not had a game like this in a very long time. That was a shocking thing for me to see right there. You can see our largest lead was 23 points. Theirs was only 6. The Knicks, we went to the free throw line 23 times tonight. I think we could have gone more. Cat was frustrated once again by the lack of foul calling. And the Raptors went 19 times and connected on 18. So we only made one more free throw than them, even though we got an additional 4 attempts. Both teams shot well from the free throw line. Let's just be real about this. Okay. All right. Thank you so much for watching this. My name is George. Please subscribe. Follow me on the social media. And hit the thumbs up button for me. And drop your comments. Definitely want to hear your thoughts and feelings about anything Knicks. Okay. Boston is next. Big game. Big game. Definitely could use OG. Definitely could use OG for that game. But if he's not at least 95%, don't play. Okay, I will see you around the Knicks-Verse.